Welcome to Tuff Trax, television's most powerful hour. I'm Scott Douglas under the shadows of the State Capitol building in Charleston, West Virginia. The TNT monster trucks are racing in the Charleston Civic Center with superstars like the Gravedigger, USA 1, and Jersey Outlaw all in action. The beautiful Kanawha River, one of the most scenic areas of the entire country. Charleston, West Virginia, and the TNT monster truck drivers and teams have really been enjoying their stay in Charleston, West Virginia. But it's time to go back racing once again as Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger will lead the competitors out at the Charleston Civic Center this week here on Tuff Trax. You'll remember 2 weeks ago in this building, Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger opened the season with a win. But last week in the Monster Smash final, the Digger was upset. The youngster, Anthony Fortier in Pony Express, did the unthinkable and upset the Digger. Army is with Anthony right now.
Anthony Fortier rolled into the Charleston Coliseum with a brand new vehicle on the monster truck circuit. It's so new, it's not even a truck. It's a Mustang car, but it is one thing that a lot of trucks want to be. It's a winner. Took the big win last week over all the big guns. That had to make you feel good.
Very good. I was very happy and pleased with it. Everything's working good on it. It's a little different than most of the other ones. We don't know why we did it, but that's the way it worked out, and everything is matched on it perfectly.
The vehicle is competitive. You proved that with the win in Charleston. Can it stay competitive, or was that a fluke?
It could be kind of hard. It could work out good. The truck weighs a good 3 to 4, maybe 5,000 pounds more than a lot of the other trucks on the circuit. I'm a 15,000-pound vehicle. A lot of other trucks are around 11, 12, 10,000 pounds. But I might have made it up in gear ratio and motor.
Whatever it is, it worked for you. Just like you say, the observation you just made, everybody else is trying to get light down around 10 or 11,000 pounds. You come in with a 15,000-pound vehicle and literally blow them to the walls because you were turning quick times all night long. Congratulations. We'll be keeping an eye on you. Meanwhile, let's check with Chris Chapman and find out what else we're going to be watching in the program today.
Thanks, Army. We'll see a class of four-wheel drive trucks on the TNT All-American Pulling Series from the Omni, located in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia. The 1989 national champion, Tommy Coleman, and the Saturday Night Driller will be on hand. And the only place you can see this star-studded action is later on in the show here on Tuff Trax.
But before we get to the pulling, it's the Monsters in Charleston Civic Center. Let's review highlights from qualifying action. And in the side-by-side qualifications, no eliminations here, just laying down time. A surprise. Watch Mopar.
Gary Wiggins and that Mopar Magic Scott proved to us one thing. 1990 might be the year for the Mopar. A 4:39 gave him second quick of the evening.
And at the time, it was the fastest time. So the Williams to North Carolina driver put down the shot to beat. But then Dennis Anderson came out in the Gravedigger, really kind of ticked off about what happened to him last week on Tuff Trax, and he served notice right now.
Anderson rolls the jump, slams the front end down, smooth run for the Gravedigger. Again, just like you said, he does not want to go down the tubes this week.
4.26 quick qualifying time laid down by Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger. We're going to watch the Gravediggers run again. And Army, how about the strategy for driving this course?
Anderson has a completely different strategy. He literally jumps the first hill and picks the front end up and walks it onto the cars. There's not a lot of bounce and not a lot of air with the Gravedigger because of the rear end. However, as you can tell, they still got problems trying to get stopped on the big end.
The highway barricade got the job done at the end of the Charleston Civic Center. Chris Tuffley and Star Monster side-by-side to qualify against Steve Wilke, driving Everett Jasmer's True Value sponsored USA 1 Chevrolet.
Star Monster out of New York with the youngest driver on the tour, 19 years old. Ran a real good run against Wilke and almost got on his nose. Not to be the case. Again, that right lane may give us problems before the night's over.
Boy, you really saw it. You talk about your basic urban cowboy bucking Bronco ride. Chris Tuffley was up and down, but he did get it stopped, and he didn't go over on his roof. Chris Chapman working her way over to talk to Chris right now.
Chris, I saw you wipe your brow when you came into the pits after that first run. What was going through your mind out there?
I just kept saying don't hit the brakes too hard. You know, I didn't want to flip over. Gas and brakes.
How'd it feel?
It's kind of scary when you just see dirt the wrong way.
But this time he didn't have to eat it. Here's the way the pairings are. The fast qualifier, Gravedigger, will open up against Kid Rarig's Thunder Chicken. Then Pony Express and Star Monster. The Outlaw out of New Jersey and Mike Wine meeting the USA 1. There's a Ford Chevy battle that ought to be a dandy. Dave Wieczorek's Nightlife will meet the wildly popular Wild Hair. Marvin Smith's new paint design will be in action here in a few minutes. Buffalo Tremor meets Liquidator, and Mopar Magic closes it out in a battle against Clydesdale. Coming up next, first round racing. The key phrase is watch that wall. Tuff Trax is brought to you by Micro Machines, the most colossally collectible vehicles in the world. If it doesn't say Micro Machines, it's not the real thing. Scott Douglas, Army Armstrong, and Chris Chapman with the superstars of monster truck racing on Tuff Trax. After 2 runs in 1990, Gravedigger leads Equalizer by 5 points as Equalizer tries to defend his world title. Awesome Kong back looking good. King Crunch currently 4th and in the hunt. The Outlaw, the Ford, is running strong in 1990. Mad Dog and Thunder Chicken hooked up in a tie for 6th. There's the youngster, Pony Express, Anthony Fortier 8th, Mopar Magic 9th, and Jim Miller's Barbarian rounding out the top 10. Every truck on that list has run twice so far in 1990. Run number 3 for Gravedigger and the Thunder Chicken begins head-to-head in the Charleston, West Virginia Civic Center.
Well, Scott, one of the things I'm going to be watching for is the driver of the Thunder Chicken. This truck, for some reason, always has a knack for being at the right place at the right time. Matter of fact, he went to the finals on 2 occasions last year. Anderson has 1 win under his belt. This year, a little bit of a humiliating experience under his belt also. He does not want to go through the humility part again. Anderson is going to really try to lay a shot in the right lane. I do know Kid Rarig is not wearing the neck support that the drivers normally wear, and I know he has problems with his back that could affect his driving style.
All Gravedigger. Dennis Anderson opens up with a first-round victory over Kid Rarig's Thunder Chicken. Army standing by with Dennis Anderson.
Dennis, first-round win is going to put you against the man that put you away last week. You're going to drive any different against him this week than you did last week.
Yeah, well, you know, last week my truck stumbled on me. I turned the saddest time when I raced him. Running pretty consistent this week. I qualified a 426. I just turned a 426 again. I feel like if I run the same, if I can turn another 426, I got him, because I think about the best time he can do is a 440 something.
You got lane choice. Where are you going? Back on that right side where you been?
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick to that right lane. I seem to pull my fastest times out of that lane. It feels kind of wild over there, but turning some good times, and I got to lay that Pony Express down before he gets carried away.
We'll see you and him in that next round. Good luck.
All right, thanks.
He's the talk of Charleston, West Virginia. Anthony Fortier out of Bloomfield, New Jersey, has rolled into Charleston and shocked the superstars with his victory a week ago here on Tuff Trax. Now, he snuck up on him a week ago, but it's time to see if he can back it up and make it 2 in a row. He's got Star Monster here in the opening round.
Well, in the first round, he's got a good pick here, and the reason is this youngster driving the Star Monster truck, 2 things. He's 19 years old, the youngest driver on the tour, not that much experience. The truck is a short wheelbase truck. The advantage would have to go to the Mustang. Plus, he has got a tremendous amount of confidence. Anthony came into this thing, doesn't run the whole tour with us. He's been around the sport for a long time. He has really got a big notch in his gun, would love to put another notch there this afternoon. This could be the first step, Scott. Whoa,
All
looking
Pony
smooth.
Express. Anthony Fortier comes away with the victory over Chris Tuffley's Star Monster. We're going to watch him one more time. We'll see if we'll get the isolated camera out on the youngster out of Bloomfield, New Jersey, as we look at the replay, Army. Good, strong run.
Scott, the jump right there used to give these guys a lot of problems. They used to try to drive it. They're not trying to drive it anymore. They just throttle up, jump over it. If they land right, they're in perfect position to go over the cars. However, that's not going to be the case in the next round for one of these vehicles. Only one's going to come out of the right lane. I guarantee it's going to be a black Gravedigger.
The Outlaw, Nick Rossi's beautiful truck out of Pennsauken, New Jersey, meets USA 1. Steve Wilke driving USA 1. Mike Wine driving Jersey Outlaw. A true Ford Chevy rivalry. And Army, looks like we got the rivalry starting already. So we can't get anybody up to the starting line here.
Both drivers trying to burn the other guy down or trying to make the engines get hot. Now, USA 1 has a history of getting hot on the line. The Ford knows it. Oh, a little bit of a hold shot right there. The Ford goes on through. I don't know if the light turns green or not. We may have a complete race in the Chevrolet. Look at that.
Smoke and fire.
Torque converter in the transmission. The burn down works, Scott.
Once again, USA 1 with a problem, transmission-related, fire-related, and you can see pictures telling the story. Steve Wilke about as dejected as a driver's going to get in this business. Let's go over to Army with Mike Wine.
Well, Mike Wine in drag racing, they call that a burn down. Whose idea was that?
Oh, God, I know how it feels. I went through 2 of them. Last night, we even had to pull ours out and recheck it. We went over, we were talking to him in the pit. We even loaned him some of our tools and stuff. We wanted to run each other. For 1 year, we wanted to run each other. I wanted this one, and Steve wanted this one so bad. I didn't want it to end this way. I mean, I'm glad I advanced, but I want to run him, and I want to run him heads up.
Why did each one of you wait for the other guy to go in that starting line first? Neither one wanted to move. Tracy Smart was trying to get somebody to move. But when the green light, when he stayed first and the green light came on, he didn't move at all. You just went after it.
Yeah, it's head game. It's exactly head game. He knows if I sit there too long, I'll overheat. I know if he sits there too long without clearing his motor out, he richens it up. He loses power off the line.
USA 1 won the first ever world title in 1988, but last year was nothing but bad luck. Then Rod Liftout decided to rest for a while to heal from all those nasty spills last year. Early in 1990, the rotten luck continues for Steve Wilke.
And obviously disappointed Steve Wilke. Once again, you had trouble at the line. How are you feeling right now?
Just dejected, tired, depressed. I feel sorry for my guys. I feel sorry for their fans in Charlotte or Charleston here. It runs better than that. Something's wrong. We got to go home and fix it.
Do you have any idea what it is?
We went through the entire transmission last night and rebuilt the truck and thought we had it right. Obviously, we've got to do something differently. I don't know. We even went back to the original gearing. Sorry.
Steve Wilke in USA 1 now head back to Minnesota and to the drawing board. When we return, more first round action on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. There he is, Marvin Smith's wild hair making his way into the Charleston Civic Center, Charleston, West Virginia on Tuff Trax. His opponent in the first round will be Dave Wiechorek's Nightlife, and certainly one of the stories during our stay in Charleston has been the wild hair. The new paint job, Marvin Smith, the new attitude. The first week here in Charleston, he took out the wall. Last week he ran into Gravedigger. We'll see what Marvin's got in store for us this week.
Well, third time may be charmed because he's already run against Nightlife once. That was in a qualifying session. Nightlife put him away. Wild hair comes out. Marvin Smith said it's not going to happen again. I got more than a new dress on this old truck. We're going to show you it's going to be a winner. Watch me in 1990. He'll be working at left lane. Wieczorek to the right side.
Marvin Smith out of Arnold, Missouri, and the wild hair against Wieczorek. Give it to wild hair. Marvin Smith by a wheel length in the Charleston Civic Center puts away Dave Wieczorek. So the wild hair gets the win. Boy, the way they come over that first jump is either going to win it or lose it for you. It's such a quick track. Under 5 seconds for a complete run, Scott. Wild hair moves into the next round. Nightlife may not be done. We'll have some fast losers coming back in that second round, as you saw in our opening bracket. Liquidator, the Ford, comes out of Cinnamonson, New Jersey with Bob Fisher to go up against the Buffalo Tremor. Buffalo Tremor bounces good, a lot of horsepower. This kid is going to be a force in 1990. He won 2 of them in 1989. He's doing exactly what he has to do to get to that next round tonight, Scott. Out of the Buffalo, New York area, John Kwasniewski, Army likes to call him Johnny K. He gets the win over the Liquidator Ford. Army working his way over right now to talk to John Kwasniewski. Johnny K is kind of a unique situation. The reason that it's unique is that he's already taken 1 win this year, that being in Toronto, Canada. Are you holding the win in hand again this afternoon in Charleston?
Yes, I think I am. We're getting the hill down pat now, and I think I can do it.
Getting the hill down pat, what's happening, what I'm seeing down here is y'all are jumping the hill
and then planting the front tires on the crush cars. Is that what it takes to win?
That's what it's going to take to win, is just launch off that hill and get as far as you can and just get that front tires on the ground and mash the pedal and keep it to the ground.
Our final first-round matchup will bring out the Dodge Mopar Magic. Second fastest qualifier this week, Gary Wiggins from Williamston, North Carolina. The opponent, Bennett Clark's Clydesdale out of Powder Springs, Georgia. Now, Clydesdale had some transmission problems last week. We'll see if there's a carryover or if Bennett has that Clydesdale back and running on all horses.
Well, he believes the Chevrolet's ready to go. However, the Dodge was second quick qualifying time. Oh, looky here. Bennett bounce over in trouble again. Another bounce. The right lane is really giving them problems.
But it also gave Clydesdale a win. An outstanding run for Bennett Clark. He got that old bucking Bronco ride going up and down and all around, but Bennett will take it any time. It records a victory for the Clydesdale. Bennett Clark, the Georgian, coming to Charleston, West Virginia, getting a big win. He's got the hat, Army's with him.
How appropriate. He used to be a bull rider. Did that bring back some fond memories to you there, Bennett?
That's a bunch of big memories right there. They got up on the front end there, and I knew I was coming up to the wall there pretty quick. I got on the brakes. I knew it had a hard bounce. The truck's so long, I knew it wasn't going over, so I just put on the brakes real hard and just make a little show out of it while we was at it.
You may have known it, but nobody else in this building knew it. You had everybody scared to death. Let's talk about how you got here. You've had to work all night long to get a new transmission in the truck. That's the first time you ever ran it. Looks like you're holding a hand now.
Yeah, we lost main clutch gears, and the boy drives Pony Express. I was able to get a hold of some a clutch package, a rebuild kit. He put it back together, fixed it up. He said, go out there and race it. It'll hold together.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's good at what he does. We'll see you in the next round.
Okay, thank you, Army.
Gravedigger seeks revenge against Pony Express in just a moment. But first, Army talked with Dennis Anderson of the Gravedigger about his outlook for 1990.
Well, Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger are starting out 1990 just like he started off 1989, that being like gangbusters. Your national points leader after 2 events with 1 win and 1 second place. Dennis, what did you do different?
Well, we went home, over our season we had off, which we didn't have much time off. I put a smaller motor in the truck. I'm running 2 carburetors instead of fuel injection. And it seems to make the truck stay together a lot better. And that was the thing last year. I ran hard when I ran. It ran super fast, but it just wasn't consistent. I want to try to be consistent all through the season this year.
The truck behind us, the truck you ran all last year, you detuned, you finally got it tweaked to where it's really working for you, but we understand there's a new Gravedigger in the works. Why are you building a new truck if you finally have this one ironed out?
Well, I feel like, we're allowed 1 truck change through the race season. If I can come back about 3 months up the road here, come out with some fresh iron to beat on, I think I stand a lot better chance. The new truck is going to be a lot lighter. Thanks to Creative Glass, they've created this fiberglass body for the Gravedigger now. We've got a real light tube frame. We're trying to work on a new suspension right now and get the truck to work a lot better. And, like I say, when I come out with some new iron, at 3 months into the season, I stand a lot better chance.
Let's talk to the competitors for a minute. If you had anything to say to these competitors, and it is getting to be very, very competitive now. There's no 1 or 2 trucks dominating anymore. What would Dennis Anderson say to the rest of these fellas about 1990?
All I can say is the guys better look out because I'm going to be hammered down all season. When I come out with this new truck, hopefully we'll have everything ironed out. It's going to be shame on them.
And up number 2 out of Wayne, Ohio, driving a Dodge known as the Saturday Night Driller. Here's Tommy Holman. Tom Holman, ladies and gentlemen, Ohio State pulling champion.
Beautiful southern blue skies over Atlanta, Georgia. One of our favorite stops in the TNT All-American Pulling Series is Atlanta as we go inside to the Omni. Ellis Edwards putting on a show in front of the crowd in Atlanta, getting ready for the TNT All-American Pulling Series. The 4x4s, the modified 4-wheel drive trucks, will be coming out to do their thing. Now, remember, Tommy Holman and the Saturday Night Driller won the championship a year ago. And certainly, this has got to be one of the top contenders, one of the guys given the best chance of knocking Holman off in 1990, Jim Lyons out of Louisville, Kentucky in Sydney. Getting ready to hook up and go in Atlanta, Georgia, as Lyons hooks.
Lyons does good on this track. He's got a book on it. He knows how to put the horsepower down. He is under a little pressure, but a couple of his national sponsors are based in Atlanta. recam people, the pro shock people. He wants to do good for them. Let's see what's going to happen. He says he's got the hot hand tonight. We're going to find out right now.
This is the test pull on the 180-foot track. Let's see how far he can go. Just short of a full pull, 178.75. I think they're going to like that distance, and the weight on the sled, the gearing of the transfer case, everything looks real good on that first pull.
The track looks awfully good. What's your decision out there?
Boy, I took that pull. I thought it was the best place to be is right there, so I went ahead and took it. And I think it'll do good there. I'm going to try it.
Here's the defending national champion, Tommy Holman, Saturday Night Driller. Remember, the white line at the end of the track means a full pull. He's almost got to get there. He's short, 176.18.
Yeah, there is. Army, I come out a little bit too slow that time. Should have come out a little harder and put a couple more foot on it, I believe.
Jim Lyons made a good run in the GMC. You come out in the Dodge, looked awfully good. Now the first four is going to be coming after you fellas. In this sport, any brand can win, can't they?
Most definitely. And these fellas right now run a little bigger engines than we are. We come up here with a little bit less horsepower. We're going to try to do it. And, well, we'll say less horsepower, a little bit smaller engine. And we're working hard at it.
Here's a Virginian ready to go at him, Robert Golahan, and the Golahan Special. Now, Robert will be taking it out, the distance to beat, 178.75, laid down by Jim Lyons and Stitches out of Louisville. So we'll see exactly what Golahan's got and if he can take the lead. You just about got to have a full pull on the 180-foot track to take the lead now.
Yeah, he's only got 2 feet of any kind of a cushion out there with Lyons sitting on top of the 178. Left front fender of the truck, you see the name Lee Edwards. You're going to hear the name Lee Edwards, Janke, and Lyons. All the big engine builders love to build the motors for these modified trucks. Let's see if the Lee Edwards is going to make the horsepower. Right now, Jim Lyons is on top.
Not there. No. Didn't get there. 171.4. So Robert Golahan, Golahan Special, right now sits third in Atlanta, Georgia at the Omni. Watching Golahan once again coming out. Army, did you see anything he might have done wrong?
No, the only thing that he did different than the two in front of him is he started to work the truck to the left side of the track. I don't believe that's going to be the place to go. Lyons and Holman went down the middle, and it stuck for them. It will not stick for the Ford.
Robert Golahan, the Golahan Special. Before we get back to some more pulling action, Chris Chapman is going to explain to us how a pull is measured.
TNT track officials can measure the distance of a pull through the use of this machine located to my right. What it does, it sends a laser beam to a prism located at the top of the sled. In return, the prism sends back 2 figures, 1 the distance and 2 an angle. Those 2 figures are computed through the special equation that TNT uses, which gives the TNT officials the distance of that pull to 1/100th of a foot. Think about that, 1/100th of a foot.
Boy, that is getting it down to the closest possible way to determine a winner, and that's why we are able to see so many of these trucks get in the same ballpark, and yet there's no doubt who the winner is because the laser beam has proven to be very effective.
Yeah, and the pullers do not question it. It's a proven piece of equipment, and they like it. Now, speaking of proven pieces of equipment, the Tennessean coming out now had the trick truck last year, and they've completely thrown everything away and starting over again, Scott.
Trying the left side with everybody else in the middle. Donnie Sanders well short at 164.56. Army's going to find out why he went to the left.
Everybody's working in the middle of the track. You bump it down the left side. Why'd you do that?
Well, the first few trucks there running down the middle, and I figured maybe the dirt wasn't tore up over there, so I'd give it a shot.
Is the track going to come to us or go away?
I think it's going away. The early trucks, I believe, had advantage. I mean, it was rolled down, and it's quite powdery out there right now.
We'll get back to more truck pulling later here on Tuff Trax, but coming up next, a rematch of last week's Monster Smash as Pony Express faces the wrath of the Grave Digger. The Major League of Professional Motorsports TNT's Monster Truck Challenge. There's the Gravedigger. He'll meet Pony Express. It's a rematch of last week's Monster Smash final. This time they meet in the quarterfinal round. Chris Chapman is standing by to take a look at the pairings in the quarterfinals.
The big matchup here in quarterfinal action is going to be the first race, and that's between the Gravedigger and the Pony Express. Last week, the Pony Express knocked off Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger in the last round, and he became the champion. So Dennis Anderson has revenge in his mind tonight. Let's take a look at the rest of the pairings. It's going to be Mopar Magic taking on Mike Wine and the Jersey Outlaw. Another interesting matchup is going to be this one between Nightlife and Wild Hair. This is the third time these fellas have met tonight. They met in qualifying, first round competition, and now in quarterfinal action. And our final matchup places the Buffalo Trimmer against Bennett Clark, pink and white Clydesdale.
Ready for the rematch. This was the Monster Smash final a week ago, but today they're in the quarterfinals, and Gravedigger has said the kid will not beat him this time. Army Armstrong, he's made no bones about it. Dennis feels like he made a mistake last week, and he's going to make up for it right now.
Yeah, he will not make a mistake right now. Watch the truck is going to land perfect, front wheel down. It was close, but Gravedigger's going to be in that next round.
No room for error, but the Digger pulls it off by a heartbeat. Wow, what a race. The kid gave him all he wanted, but Dennis Anderson comes out victorious. He gets his revenge.
Well, Dennis, by 0.03 of a second, you reel this kid back in, but he's not going to roll over a bit for you, is he?
No, he's not. I knew he was going to gouge on it. We were talking back there in the back, and he's got it out for me. I got it out for him. You know, what can we say? It's racing.
Well, he's won one, you've won one. You'll get together later in the year. We're going to let you get back to the pit area. What a super job you've done this year. You've really, really impressed a whole lot of people.
Yeah, we've done some good work. Just a little frustrated right now, and I don't even know what to say.
Nothing to be frustrated about. You've made a lot of friends here. We're impressed with your truck. We look forward to seeing you later on the tour. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Army.
Perhaps the next megastar on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge is Mike Wine, driver of the Outlaw. Owner Nick Rossi is planning to build a new truck for his wild and woolly driver. Chris Chapman asked Wine about that truck earlier today.
Mike, I understand you have another Outlaw online for later on in the year. Tell us about that.
It's going to be a 1994. It's going to be all fiberglass, a totally new concept and a frame and everything, which we won't say. Getting rid of the gas motor, getting rid of the carburetor. It's going to go alcohol injected. Just going to give it about another 500 more horsepower if we can. Get the truck to sit lower. It'll have the new paint scheme as this one has on it right now. And it's going to be a lot nicer.
There you see Mike Wine lining up for his quarterfinal round matchup. Mopar Magic is coming back as the second fast loser, but don't let that deceive you. In qualifying, Mopar Magic was second fastest outright. Let's see what he's got for the Outlaw. By just a hair, the Outlaw gets the victory. Mike Wine able to hold off Gary Wiggins' Mopar Magic. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of Dodge fans really excited about the way Gary Wiggins has started off 1990. He looks like he'll be a player this year. But this guy is planning on running for the World Championship. Mike Wine and the Jersey Outlaw.
Mike Wine, you and your old enemy, the Gravedigger, next round. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, he got me 2 weeks ago. I messed up on the starting line. I'm ready for him now.
What about the engine? When you were sitting down here just a second ago, that engine did not sound real crisp.
No, I had problems with it. When I bounced that time, I really felt it bounce real hard and the plug wires came off. That's why I had the owner, Nick Rossi, take it outside and tune it up for me real quick.
Wild Hair, Marvin Smith, fast becoming one of the more popular trucks on the circuit. Now, Marvin, when he drove the Stomper, always very popular, but this Wild Hair design has really excited the kids and teens everywhere the TNT Monster trucks are going. I'll tell you, they've loved them in Charleston this year at the Charleston Civic Center. The opponent this time around is Nightlife. Army, they were side-by-side in qualifying. Wild Hair beat Nightlife in the first round. Now he has to go up against him again. Is there anything psychological going on here?
No, but if I was going to pick a winner, it'd be Nightlife, because he is not going to let the Wild Hair get by. He's quicker in qualifying. He knows he's got to cut a good light to put the win away. He's in what I would consider to be the good lane. My advantage to go Nightlife. However, Wild Hair, he's going to push it as far as he can. There it is. Wieczorek is like a fox. don't give him an inch. He'll hammer you if you do. He's coming back to the next round, and there's no chance Wild Hair is going to be back in this program.
Relatively easy win for Dave Wiechorek's Nightlife. He wins it by a full length. Army working his way over to talk to him. A little payback. He lost to Wild Hair earlier, but got the revenge.
Dave Wieczorek, what do they say, third time's charm. You had him in qualifying, you had him in the first round. The breaker rule brings you back in. You're sitting right in the middle of this thing now and can win it.
Well, I hope so. I'm getting the hang of the track, and I don't know, I guess the feel of the track's just to hammer down and hang on and go for it. So
that's what it's looking like. Everybody just jumping that first jump. You used to try that drive through it, and now everybody's just throttling up, trying to bounce good and then go to the finish line. Is that what it takes?
That's right, Arm. I've tried to throttle through the hill and get into it and out of it, and it just don't work. You just got to stay hammered down and go all the way.
Nightlife is in the semifinals along with the Outlaw Ford and Grave Digger, and one of these two. Either the Buffalo Tremor, John Kwasniewski from Buffalo, New York, the Northern Connection, against the good old boy from Powder Springs, Georgia, Bennett Clark and Clydesdale. There's Bennett's lovely wife, newlywed that he is.
Yeah, they've been married since the 1990 season started. She's got her fingers crossed. He'll be working what I consider to be a good lane. However, you're going to have to keep an eye on this kid out of New York. He's got a lot of confidence and a whole lot of horsepower in the near lane. Well, look at that. He's got this lane figured out and nobody else does as Clark once again almost gets into that wall, Scott.
Give the victory to John Kwasniewski and the Buffalo Tremor. Johnny K outguns Bennett Clark and the Clydesdale Chevrolet. And as Army mentioned, both of them barely got her stopped.
It looks like Johnny K is going to be in the final. You got Wieczorek.
I'm not really worried about Dave. We're good friends and everything, but we're down to racing, and I got this track figured out, I think, right now.
That's interesting, because he said the same thing. He likes the far lane. You like this lane. You're both going to be happy campers there. It's just going to come down to who can drive their truck better in that next round, isn't it?
That's about it. It's going to be concerned on that hill right there. Whoever gets the best bounce, and I got a little more power, I think I'll pull it off.
As the folks in Charleston enjoy the world champion bike riders, they're also enjoying the best in monster truck action. Everywhere you see TNT, go see them live. It's the best in professional motorsports. Here are the great events coming up. TNT All-American Pulling Series back at the Omni in Atlanta to see if anyone can catch stitches. Chris Chapman is with Dave Willoughby, who's about to make his pull. Chris, what's his strategy?
Dave, what have you learned about the track so far? How do you think you're going to line it up?
Well, it looks to me like it's taking a lot of power right off the line, and a few people have misjudged that the sled's real heavy. So we're going to attack the sled from the start while trying to keep in mind we don't want excessive wheel speed. Try to get a little more footage at the end of the track that way.
Good luck, Dave.
Thank you.
Go-Go getting a ride from his friends with Track Builders in Atlanta, Georgia, giving us an opportunity before we get back to the pulling to see where we stand in Atlanta with the four-wheel drive modified truck. Jim Lyons, the Louisville, Kentucky puller and stitches with the lead, 178.75 on this 180-foot track. Tommy Holman, defending national champ, second. Robert Golohound sticks third. And Donnie Sanders, Tennessean, rounds out the top four. Four more pullers to come. And you just saw Dave Willoughby strapping on the helmet, putting the gloves on. He's ready to go. And that very unique-looking 1944.
Well, he said in the interview with Chris a moment ago, you got to get it quick on the starting line. Let's see what's going to happen. 180-foot track. By the 25-foot mark, Scott, we're going to know if he's going to be in this thing. There it is. He calls on it. Way up on the RPM.
Now, well short. Nowhere close. The distance for Willoughby in the 1940 Ford is 162.90. So Willoughby will finish back in the pack at Atlanta. Dwayne Baytag out now. The STP pulling team. Machine ready to try and take it out of here in Atlanta.
Dwayne's new to the sport. He's out in Texas. He's trying to get that all-important time in the seat. Go-Go keeps an eye on the right side of the truck. Green flag means go. Let's see what the Texas STP Chevrolet can do, Scott.
Not enough. It'll be 163 and change for STP. Mr. Sparkle and 3 bears still to come. Chris Chapman standing by with Mr. Sparkle driver Glenn Davis.
Glenn, what do you think about the STP truck run?
He had a really good start. The sled was going down pretty good, but he got down there where all the holes are and started sinking down and spun out.
Here's 3 bears. Bob Smith out of Winchester, Virginia.
Don, he's going over to the right side of the track. The final 2 trucks have got 100 new grooves.
Boy, that's not it. Oh, not even close.
Not the right, not the middle, in my opinion. What's Mr. Sparkle going to do? And you got to remember, this kid's out of Florida. He's used to running in sand. He might be able to figure it out.
You know, Glenn Davis and Mr. Sparkle came on strong late in 1989 in the points race and ended up finishing in the top 5. He had the momentum at the end of the year. Let's see how he starts 1990.
Well, he has to have one of the prettiest trucks on the circuit. Like I said, he's from Florida. He has a unique ability to read this track. It looks like clay, but it's going back together like sand. Another thing about Glenn, if you look at his truck, his injectors turn around backwards. He operates the throttle with his right hand. He can actually see the performance of the engine by looking out the windshield. Time to quit talking, time to start pulling.
He's out of there. Glenn Davis, Mr. Sparkle on the final pull. Gets past Jim Lyons with a full pull. Watching it again. This is what gets it done. You can see right there. Davis knew he had it. He wins it.
Glenn Davis, you and the Sparkle Chevrolet wait for the worst possible scenario, the very last puller in the field, but you bang it out the door and take the win. Congratulations.
Thank you. You know what they say, save the best for last, and I just studied the track, and I hooked it real quick, about 20 foot, and it just kept going.
No, the event was actually won in your mind in the first 20 feet.
Oh, yeah, I told them earlier if I was going to win, it's going to be the first 20 feet, and I was going to beat that Stitches.
A sparkling pull gives the win to Glenn Davis. Stitches and Jim Lyons runner-up. Tommy Holman a good start to 1990 with a 3rd place finish. Robert Golahan and Donnie Sanders round out the top 5. Coming up, Grave Digger versus the Outlaw. Here's what Mike Wine had to say about that matchup.
Anderson, can you get him today?
Yes. Anderson can be beat. Anybody can beat Anderson if they want him. Well, he doesn't think you're the guy that can do it. He better start thinking.
Charleston, West Virginia. The Civic Center has 4 left. 4 monsters ready to go in the semifinals. It'll be Grave Digger, Dennis Anderson, against his arch rival, the Outlaw Ford and Mike Wine. And the bottom half of the bracket, Dave Wieczorek brings out the Nightlife Chevrolet against the cocky New Yorker, the Buffalo Tremor. Before we get to it, it's time for the Crunch of the Week.
Hold on to your seats for the amazing Crunch of the Week, brought to you by Micro Machines, the #1 colossally collectible vehicles in the world. If it doesn't say Micro Machines, it's not the real thing.
Appropriately, Crunch of the Week, October, Louisville, Outlaw Digger. Look at this! Dennis Anderson stands it straight up and down. The last race of 1989 for the Digger in Freedom Hall was one to remember. Army, have you ever seen a wilder ride for Dennis Anderson?
When he came out of the truck, he said, that's a Charmin run. You're going to see what he means right here.
Dennis Anderson on the Crunch of the Week. That was the last time they got together head-to-head. Freedom Hall, Louisville, Kentucky, 1989. Here it is, 1990. The Outlaw, the new paint job, and Mike Wine says the new year. He's ready to go up against the Digger now in the semifinals.
Well, they both leave that start line. Anderson muscles it out in the half track.
All Grave Digger. Both of them talk a lot. This time, it's the Digger and Dennis Anderson backing up the word. For the 3rd straight week, the Grave Digger has made it into the Monster Smash Final. Here he is with Armin.
Mike Wine told us a minute ago that you were going to be easy to get by. I think you just proved him wrong.
Yeah, I know it. He's been talking a lot of trash back there in the pit, so I just had to prove it to him before his head got too big.
Well, once again, it was a convincing victory for Gravedigger over Outlaw, and that means we have one more finalist to determine. It'll be Nightlife and Buffalo Tremor. While they get ready, let's take a look at highlights from the second day of racing in Birmingham, Alabama. It's semifinal round action. That's Barbarian, the orange truck furthest away from your screen, and the defending world champion Equalizer. David Morris puts him away and moves into the final. The other semifinal sent Bad News, the yellow truck, up against Scott Stevens and King Crunch, and Crunch gets it done. The final, Equalizer and King Crunch give the Monster Smash in Birmingham to David Morris and the Equalizer.
Right now, Scott, the question at hand are these two guys. Keep an eye on the Nightlife. I've told you before, if there's a guy that I would be afraid of in this sport, it's him. He's too quiet. He'll get you if you give him an in. That's all it took. Look here. He's going to the final. The New Yorker is not.
A close one, but nonetheless a victory for Dave Wieczorek and Nightlife. We're going to get another look at one of the closest races of the year. Watch them here. It's Buffalo Tremor on the right of the screen. Wieczorek on the left.
Wieczorek stayed low over the first jump. That put his wheels down over the cars. That's what won it for him. That guy is smart. He's a fox.
Dave Wieczorek and Nightlife goes to the final against Gravedigger. When we return, the Monster Smash. This is what it's all about. What they came for in Charleston, West Virginia. The crowd stands as Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger ready to do battle with Dave Wieczorek and Nightlife. It's time for the Monster Smash on Tuff Trax. Dennis Anderson, a convincing victory over Nightlife and Dave Wieczorek. One more time, we'll look at it on the replay, Army.
Scott, once again, the bounce and lead onto the car is what did it. His front wheels were planted and he was carrying the mail.
Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger has made it to all three finals in 1990, and he's won two of them to firmly establish himself as the early points leader. It's a convincing full-length victory for the Gravedigger, who has the season point lead. But keep in mind, Digger and Outlaw have 3 races so far, Equalizer just 2, so Morris is certainly on track to try and defend that world championship. Gary Wiggins, Mopar Magic, an early surprise. Awesome Kong with just 2 races already in the top 5, as is King Crunch with 2 races. Then Wiechorek's Nightlife tied with Fortier and the Pony Express. The Thunder Chicken of Kid Rarig and Johnny K and Buffalo Tremor rounding out that top 10. Anderson is on top early.
Well, Dennis Anderson, congratulations. We just tallied it up real quick. You are the national points leader right now.
Yeah, I figured I was, but, you know, just like we were talking about last week, I started out 89 just like this. Hopefully I can hang in there for the 1990 season. We got a big purse to win. I'm getting a few sponsors behind me now, Cam, Rugged Trail, you know, for my shocks, Creative Glass for fiberglass body. We got a new truck coming out. So hopefully I'll stand a lot better chance this year.
How about this Wieczorek kid? He's for real.
Yeah, he is. I tell you, old Dave, you know, he's a good old sandbagger, but, buddy, he'll put it on you if he gets a chance.
Well, he's building a new truck, too. We'll be looking forward to following both of you guys the rest of the year. Good luck and a job well done.
All right, thanks, Army.
That's the climax to 3 sensational weeks of racing here in Charleston, West Virginia. Some things we expected and a few surprises. That seems to be the way it always is when the superstars get together on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. Next week, who knows what'll be waiting for us. But we know one thing, the world champion Equalizer and Carolina Crusher will join the likes of the Gravedigger next week when they go to Mid-South Coliseum from Memphis, Tennessee, right here on Tuff Trax. You're going to enjoy it all. For Chris Chapman and Army Armstrong, I'm Scott Douglas. See you next week here on Tuff Trax.